Good morning, everyone. Call
Good
the
morning.
PZA meeting together for July 22nd, 2020. Could we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Featherling?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Tholen? Ms. Polk?
Here.
Mr.
Present.
Payton? Mr. Payton?
Present.
Yeah.
Ms. Peters?
Present.
Ms. Dunbar?
Present.
Mr. Kinzinger?
Present.
Mr. Fairfield?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Swanson?
Present.
Mr. Dunnell?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Wheeler?
Present.
Mr. Searay?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. We have no public comment today. I'd like to combine the approval of the minutes and the building report into one motion. Could we get a motion for that?
Polk.
Mr. Smith and Mr. Kinzinger, second. We get a roll call for that?
Mr. Featherling?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Polk?
Aye.
Mr. Payton?
Aye.
Ms. Peters?
Aye.
Ms. Dunbar?
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Dunnell?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next up would be the building report. Delbert, you have a report for us today?
I do. You have your June 2020 building report in your packet. Our revenue is up 14% from last year. We brought in $37,438 for the month of June, which included 3 new home starts and a solar farm in the enterprise zone, the Yankee Solar Farm down on Schuyler Avenue. We issued a total of 105 permits for the month.
Okay. Anything else, Delbert?
That pretty much sums up the report.
Okay, anybody have any questions or comments about the building report? No? Okay. Okay, we'll go on to zoning. Del, we have a decommissioning plan in the zoning?
Under planning, we have nothing under zoning.
Nothing under zoning, sorry. We'll go to the planning to the solar farm decommissioning plan and bond. You want to run that
Yes.
by us?
Okay. This is, you also have this in your packet, the decommissioning plan that was submitted by Griggs Solar Farm. This is a 2 megawatt community solar garden located on the southwest corner of Illinois Route 1 and St. George Road over in Janier Township. Staff has reviewed the figures in the decommissioning plan, and they are in line with the other solar farm decommissioning plans that we've that the committee and the county board has already approved. This one is asking for has a total cost of $240,000 and $35,000 of decommissioning. Would be the cost for decommissioning, and we would be requesting a bond to approve a bond in that amount as well.
Okay.
So we're requesting today that you approve this, recommend the approval of this decommissioning plan and a bond in the amount of $240,035.
Sure, Mr. Kinzinger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is this decommissioning plan consistent with the other plans that have been approved in terms of wordage?
I can barely hear.
Okay. My question is, the words that attach to the dollar figure, are they consistent with the other plans that we've already approved? Or is there something different in this?
Yes, this would be the 6th one, and they are all within the same parameters and
Thank you.
in the same range.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Barring no questions, I entertain a motion to approve it. The solar farm decommissioning plan for Griggs Solar Farm.
Dunbar.
Okay, first by Dunbar, second by Polk. Get a roll call, please, Kelly?
Mr. Featherling?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Polk?
Aye.
Mr. Payton?
Aye.
Ms. Peters?
Aye.
Ms. Dunbar?
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell,
Aye.
Mr. Long,
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next up for transportation, we have Ben Wilson. Are you on here, Ben?
I am.
Okay, can't hear you very good though. Try it again.
All right, I'm gonna throw some video up too.
There you
I've
go.
got a screen share also. I just want to show you this kind of I would say a two-part update. This actually wasn't necessarily our intended update for you, but I just want to make the committee aware to look out for this. This is our final draft form. We've got one more round in the office, kicking this around for the final document. But this is around a 20-page update on for the CATS MPO. And so this, just look out for this. It will highlight who we are, what we do. It hasn't gone out to the commission yet. I just want you guys to be aware. It's not really what I wanted to talk about today, but I just wanted you to be aware it was coming. So you'll receive an updated brochure for the MPO. It covers a lot of detail on kind of who we are and what we do. And as each of the members of the board and committee get it, if you have any questions about it, certainly reach out to us. So that's really all I have on the screen share piece. The update I want to give for the committee today is out of the long-range transportation plan that was just approved by the CATS MPO policy committee, sent to Federal Highway and to IDOT. One of the kind of long-range topics that come out of this planning exercise was to focus on an update to our Greenways and Trails plan. At the staff level, we have received approval from IDOT to use grant funds to update the Kankakee County Greenways and Trails plan, which was last drafted, I believe it's 11 years old now. I think Delbert wrote it, so he's probably a little more familiar on the exact.
2009, I believe.
Yeah, 09. So it's right at 11 years old. So kind of having that 10-year window on an updated plan is certainly a great thing. What's really nice for us is, as many of you are aware, in the CATS MPO, we focus exclusively on the metropolitan planning area. And that is Bradley, Bourbonnais, Kankakee, Manteno, portions of Sun River Terrace and Aroma Park. They're allowing us at IDOT, and they've approved us to do a county-wide Greenways and Trails plan because it really does tie together not only the MPO, but also the whole county. So we can look at our trail system in its entirety, really focus on countywide trails and greenways. And although a traditional greenway, riverway, things like that aren't really what we look at the MPO level, it does really tie into our overall transportation system. And so in updating this, we're right now putting a scope of work together. Obviously, this committee will see it before the board will see it, but we will exercise the process through the Regional Planning Commission. So we'll functionally utilize the RPC as the public outreach body for the update. Michael Mergenthaler will be the lead staffer on drafting the document. We're excited to have him get his eyes on this. It's a really kind of cool project for him to take on, and it's a great opportunity for us to utilize the grant funds that we're receiving from Federal Highway to do a planning update that needs to be done. It all fits within our existing year's budget. Will likely bleed over into next fiscal on the completion of the document, because we do want to take as much public input as possible. As we pivot on this document, I just want the PZA committee to be aware we're really focused on bringing in users into this rewrite. One of the initial conversations we had with the CVB was surrounding how do we better market the trail system to show that we have 10 individual trails across several communities. If we can appropriately brand it and somebody asks for a 10-mile trail system to do some sort of bike ride, we would be able to more appropriately market that within the greater region. And so really looking at the local bike vendors, the local canoe vendors, the cyclist community, bringing them in, the walking community, bringing them in on the plan and making sure that the people that are utilizing the trails really get a good voice in this process while still creating a single brand for our trail system. So we can utilize this document to create one Kankakee County trail system, and it just better allows us to market ourselves more regionally and nationally as it relates to tourism and outdoor activity in that arena. So we haven't defined our kickoff meeting yet, but we'll likely have an August RPC meeting to kick this off. I just wanted to get this in front of the committee. So in case you hear anything about it, if you're interested in giving feedback, we will be reaching out to everybody within the public, but if you have specific feedback you'd like to give, we certainly want to hear it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wheeler, you have a question?
You kind of touched on it, the Regional Planning Commission. I was wondering if you thought, it occurred to me that maybe it's an offshoot, a subcommittee of the Regional Planning Commission that could include people that are involved with these trails all over, with an eye towards Midday-Win, connecting to out past the state park as a long-range plan, to where you could basically go from one end of the county to the other, if that's part of the plan. But I think you said the RPC, and that's what I think you were getting at, is have it go through the RPC, then to ZBA, PZA, if that's appropriate.
Yeah, and I think the creation of a steering committee that involves a subset of the RPC, it will be part of the RPC meetings and part of their kind of functional schedule, but bringing in a stakeholder group that isn't necessarily only made up of RPC members that can help us, because it's our partners in Will County. It's focusing on the Wauponsee Glacial Trail and trying to tie us to our neighboring communities, because when you talk about cycling, and I don't know how many of you ride with frequency, people ride 40 miles or 50 miles. That's not an unheard of ride. That's kind of like a Saturday ride. And so tying us to a greater region is really the goal of this, to make our greenways and our connected paths align with other connected paths to get us into other resources that are very close to Kankakee County, but might be just a little bit outside our boundaries. So I think, Chairman Wheeler, that's a good point. We'll look to having somebody at Will County participating in this activity.
Just to follow up is maybe consider, we have 3 openings on the Regional Planning Commission. Maybe some of these folks locally might want to step up. I want to say full-time, because it's not a full-time commitment, but consider that as well, because we've had these 3 openings for over a year now.
Well, in Manteno, we have a Parks Committee. I'll see if I can get somebody from that might want to get involved. But I don't know if I can get 3. But.
Yeah, just one. Hey, okay. One's better than none.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Anybody else have any questions for the transportation?
Mr. Chairman, this is Hunter.
Yes, Mr. Hunter.
Is RPC, how many members are on that particular committee, and is that diverse committee? And do we have people from the eastern part of the county on that particular entity?
Delbert.
I serve on the committee.
Yeah.
Delbert
Regional
would.
Planning Commission is 17 members. We've got 14 currently.
Okay.
I think Mr. Payton
you
is
guys
on
are
there.
going to carry.
Okay, there's 17 members on the Regional Planning Commission.
Mr. Hunter, I
14.
on it.
We do have representation throughout the entire county, including the east side. Mr. Payton is on the Regional Planning Commission.
So he's the only county board member on there now?
Miller.
No, Mr. Miller.
Okay, Chad's on there too? Okay.
Yes, we're allowed to have 2 county board members. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next up, we got anything under. Pardon?
I have something for.
Oh, Andy, sorry, Mr. Wheeler.
Transportation related. Basically the programming has been released. I got a call from the newspaper at 9 p.m. last night. So apparently there's going to be a story running. Ben, do you have a couple of highlights from that you could share with the committee? I know what mine are, but I thought it might be better coming from you. So.
Yeah, so the multi-year program was not only finalized but posted and published yesterday. I think that I'll leave the main one to the chairman, but we've got For highlights for me, it's a $17 million reconstruction on 4552 from Broadway, or from Brookmount Boulevard to essentially the merge back with 50. And so, I mean, that's a pretty massive construction project. That one is not, well, that one will be let likely in 22. The current year activities, which are nice. We've got some, joint and crack sealing, things along those lines. There's some I-57 work at Grinnell Road. They're gonna do a median crossover. That is 2021. So we've got median crossover and construction engineering going in this fiscal. So you'll start to see work on 57 for that upcoming bridge project. So I'm assuming what'll end up happening is we'll do a north-south in southbound lane or a northbound lane. So we'll, with Jersey Barrier K-wall to separate the interstate, and then to work on one side of the bridge at Grinnell Road. So there's going to be some interruption, not only at Grinnell underneath, but also there'll be diverting traffic. So they're finishing the work now, and then we'll be back. It's just kind of the unfortunate thing that happens. We'll be back under construction. Again, there's will be bridge replacement in 2021 also on Illinois 17 east on the east branch of the Horse Creek. So it's about 0.2 of a mile outside of Herscher Road there. That'll be they're actually doing the bridge replacement. So it's about $1.5 million. At the high level, about $70 million in construction, $72 million in this year. And the aggregate multi-year plan, which we've been waiting on, is about $225 million in Kankakee County alone. So,
Wow.
These are all IDOT projects. There will be other funds that'll come through. We actually just got our MFT sources and uses booklet came through from IDOT. A lot of stuff's been coming out from IDOT on just kind of the standard, nuts and bolts, mill and resurface, joint and crack seal, bridge replacement, full road replacement. But it's a good sign to see $250 million happening in Kankakee County.
So Ben, did the Mantino overpass get approved in that 2022 also?
It is in there. It's not approved when it's mined, but they don't, in the multi-year plan, they don't give us a year by year. They give you the current year and then a group of the next years.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Oh.
Yeah, it was, what I made sure that people knew about is that in 21 it's programmed to do the bridge over the tracks, the railroad tracks on Armour Road. That bridge is going to go in 21. It's being let probably, anytime soon.
No.
November letting probably.
November letting, yeah. And then that was I want to say $6 million project roughly, I believe. And then it's both sides, both lanes with a walking path, not in the street, which is nice over in that area for the people who live over there, going towards CSL. But then the other part of this is that we're trying to line up. We're in phase 3 engineering on the widening of Armour Road from basically that bridge all the way through to the other bridge that goes over 57, with adding dedicated turn lanes, stoplights coming out of CSL. That was the project that received, I believe, $7.5 million in the capital bill. We're closer than people would really think on that. We're working on some details right now with the state and with District 3 and with obviously CSL, but those two potentially could be let at the same time, believe it or not. It would be better to, as they say, pull the Band-Aid off at once instead of having the same road tore up for 2 years, have it tore up for 1. That's the thought process behind seeing if we can't get this in this year's letting. And we will have updates upcoming. I spoke with Senator Joyce about it yesterday, and our lobbyists. So we're working hard to try to get that through. And I'm hearing good things. We're getting official correspondence from District 3 on that, which is amazing because usually these are 20-year projects to get funding, and we're getting it in about 1.5 years.
That's good.
Mr. Kinzinger knows some of this stuff you're waiting. Well, how long did they wait for the Bourbon overpass? 25 years, maybe? I think Governor Ryan started that. I mean, it was a while. Yeah. So, yeah. I just want to mention that. Those are really good news for the area. So.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else up there? Okay, barring nothing, we're going to go to old business. I don't think we have any old business.
Sorry.
Mr. Wheeler?
I wanted to see if I can get an update from Dell for the committee on the portal. work that's going on. I don't know with COVID and if they were able to get things working in the background. I haven't asked him for an update, but I thought I'd ask it here and put him on the spot in front of everybody.
Okay, they are moving forward with it. In fact, I have a meeting this afternoon at 3 o'clock with them, a Zoom meeting like this. The code enforcement portion of it is completed. They have put our building permits are in there, and now they are making adjustments to those. The actual code enforcement part of the portal, we actually have a copy of that we can actually start using and training on and all of that. We have a go live date right now of I believe it's the first week of October. Of course, that may be pushed forward or backwards depending on how we're doing it. But as of right now, things are moving quite well with it. We're very pleased with what we've seen.
Okay.
As we have them available, we'll probably show the committee just how it all works.
Have you had a discussion on e-commerce solutions for the portal in itself?
E-commerce, you mean credit card payment?
Yeah, how to take payments, yeah.
Yes, they are putting together a packet for me, and I'll have that to go over here very soon.
All right, because we're looking at maybe aggregating all of our e-commerce payment solutions across the county into one place.
Yeah.
So where it has that diversification and being able to put things in the right buckets. If we can drive down the rates and not have it cost the people anymore, then you just, I would say just be aware of that. And
well, they have a couple of options that they use, vendors that they work with normally. So they're sending me the information on those.
Sure. Yeah, please pass those on. Yeah.
And that you may very well be able to use those for other departments as well. That's possible too. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Can we go back to any old business? We did that. We have one opening on the zoning board of appeals, or is it two? I think it's one.
It's technically one. We have a member who needs to renew their membership.
Okay, I got you. Okay. And there's 3 openings on the Kankakee County Regional Planning Commission, which we already discussed that. Okay. Barring any more questions, we get a motion to adjourn. Mr. Kensinger, Mr. Smith?
You missed GIS. We still need another county board member on the GIS committee.
Really?
Where's that?
He just took it off.
Okay. I thought I heard that Mr. Long was taking that spot before, right?
We did, but the passing of Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington was the other county board member.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Call a motion to adjourn. Mr. Kensinger firsted it and made it first, and Mr. Smith seconded it. So we got a roll call. I'll close. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have a good day, everyone.